Good morning, Michelle here from Halfway Homestead, and this morning I am in the garden. More specifically, I am at one of my raised beds. Now, I have been contemplating a lot of things in the last few weeks. One is whether or not to do a fall planting. And so as some of you know, I am a school teacher and we are in the very last couple days of July. If I'm going to do a fall planting, I need to get it done. And also, I know that when school starts, my life gets so very busy because I give school and my family my 100%, or at least I do my very best to do that. And so when it's in the summertime and it's gardening season, I give my garden. Well, I try to give my 100%. You can tell by the grass that hasn't happened this year. But I'm going to go ahead and do a fall planting. I'm just going to hope and pray that I can keep up with it and that it will be prosperous. I see a carrot sticking out. Oh, I missed it when I harvested. We'll take that little guy inside. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do in this bed, well, one thing I've already done, I of course cleared out all of the grass, all of the weeds. I sprinkled in some fertilizer. This will be my second season using this bed, the two 4x4 beds and the 4x8 that's at this other end. These other two 4x8 beds, this is their third season. And so I do use composted cow manure that my friend Mike brings over. But, you know, after a while and all the rain we've had, a lot of those valuable nutrients get washed out. And so I did sprinkle in some fertilizer. I took my, excuse me, took my rake and kind of roughed it in and evened out the surface. So my first season of growing in these other two 4x8 beds, I did what's called square foot gardening. And you can put a whole lot of food into square foot gardening. And the idea is that every square foot can be planted intensely and you get a lot out of it. So I'm going to do that with this bed. I'm going to do square foot gardening the best that I can. Typically, or not typically, but when I did square foot gardening in this other bed, in fact, my little thumbtacks are still in there, I made a grid of string, okay, every foot, and going lengthwise and this way. And it worked out fine. My strings did not hold up in the weather, and that's okay. They lasted until I had everything planted. This year, or this time, I'm not going to do a grid of string. I'm going to eyeball it, but I did bring out my yardstick and a painting stick that is, well, it's a foot long. So I'll be able to use these two things to kind of help me with my grid pattern. I can do, let's see, I can go 4 feet or 4 boxes across. And I'm not going to use the entire bed because I still have tromboncino on the trellis and I don't want to crowd that. So I'm going to go 4 by 7 and leave that last foot just for the tromboncino. By the way, I picked one. It's about, I don't know, probably 2.5 feet long, and we're going to have it for supper tonight. So I'll let you know how it was. We have eaten one cantaloupe, and it was delicious. In fact, I still have a couple bites left in the fridge. And still picking green beans. I need to pick probably tonight or today sometime. And then let's see what else we're picking. The corn is tasseling. The ground cherries are going crazy, eating lots of those. Sad news on the black beans. The grass took over and I mowed the whole thing down. And so that was just one way of giving myself less stress, and that's okay. All right, so in this bed, I am going to plant carrots, beets, some dill. Oh, no, I didn't bring it out here. Oh, yes, I did. Broccoli. Okay. It throws me when there's not a picture of the vegetable on the seed packet. Okay. So I'm going to do, let me think. I'm going to do every other square with just one broccoli. Broccoli plants get quite large, and in the spring, I start my broccoli inside with my grow station, but for fall planting, I'm going to direct sow. I've done this before. It worked fine. I do need to make sure I am watering often because these raised beds, I'm already melting. These raised beds drain really, really well. And we have had some intense hot days. They said we're under a heat dome. And so we've had heat indices of over 100. We're supposed to have a cold front coming through, which means they said there's a chance of rain tonight. I am very hopeful that we get that rain. Even though we've had so much, we could definitely use some more. So yeah, let's get planting. I'm gonna use my yardstick and let's see, let's do some measuring. Okay, so my yardstick, is not 4 feet long, it's only 3 feet long. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it over here, make sure I am the right width. Okay, and then, okay, let's go in with the broccolis. Okay, so let me get some of that out of the way. All right, I'm going to measure, so at 20, oh, that won't work. Okay, let me scoot it all the way over. I have to be able to see my measurements. Okay, I'm not at a complete 4 feet. I think the outside measurement is 4 feet. So I'm going to go, I think I'm only going to get 3 across instead of 4. And that's okay. That'll work out fine. All right. So right here in the middle of this section, I'm going to go ahead and put a broccoli seed. Broccoli seeds are not gigantic, but they are big enough you can see, not like carrots or lettuce that are so teeny tiny. I'm just going to put one in right here in the center, and I'm just going to barely cover it up. Okay, I'm going to move over. Oh, if I can get up. I'm going to move over here. Let me move you so you can see. Okay, down here on the end. Woo, there's a big spider. Ooh, hate spiders. Okay, I'm going to go down here. Let's see, I'm going to put a little trench with my stick so I can see where my boxes are. Okay, I'm going to go in right here with a broccoli. And barely covered up. Okay, here in the middle of the 2 broccolis, I'm going to do some dill. I have used all but probably a tablespoon of the dill that I preserved last year, and it is not enough. I like to preserve my dill a year ahead. That way when the pickle or the cucumbers are coming in nice and early, I already have dill to use. And I'm not opposed to using dehydrated dill. I think it works out just fine. Some people say it's not as strong, but I think it's fine. Okay, so in the dill, I'm gonna rough this up a little bit. All right, for the dill, I'm gonna go 4 plants across and 4 plants down. Okay, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna grab a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I definitely put in more than one seed because they're little and kind of hard to handle. But I'm just going to kind of cover these up a little bit. I don't want to bury them too deep. Okay, and we have our first row planted. So exciting. Okay, second row, I'm going to, ouch. Oh, there's a rock. Second row, I'm going to put broccoli in the middle, and I'm going to do carrots on one side and beets on the other side. And I'm going to just alternate this all the way down through this entire row. I'm also going to do the bed behind me the exact same way. I'm not going to do any fall plantings of cauliflower. I'm the only one in this house that really likes cauliflower, and I have enough from the spring planting in the freezer. So that'll be fine. Let's see. I was going to do more tromboncino, but I'm still thinking about that. I may plug in a couple more seeds. I don't know. We'll see. And then on the trellis down where the cucumbers were, I'm going to put sugar snap peas, and that will be fantastic. So I want to take you around real quick before I finish this bed and show you a few things in the garden. And then I will come back and finish planting, and I will get everything watered in. Okay, at this point in the morning, it is only about, I think it's 8:15, and it is already 92 degrees. I am melting, and so I'm going to turn the camera off of me. I'm going to show you a few things in the garden, and then I'm going to at least get this one bed planted and watered in. I'm hoping to get the second bed before I just completely wilt. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to turn you around. Okay. You got to hit the right button. Okay, I accidentally turned you off. All right, so here we have our honey nut squash. They are doing so good. And I wanted to show you down here at the bottom, we have one turning. And so these are ready when they are completely kind of a tannish orange, not really a pumpkin orange. Here's one turning, but they will be all one color when they're finished. On the other side, we have our tromboncino. Let me get around the other side to show you. These are crazy looking. Look at that. And there's a couple more coming on. Here's a little one. These are exciting. On this trellis, we have our cantaloupe. I did come out and put up some more little hammocks, excuse me, to take the weight off of the melon. I don't want any of them dropping on the ground and going bad. Over here we have our snail vine, which is coming out the top of the trellis. Ground cherries are going crazy. I'm actually going to take them out, but I have friends coming over this week to bake, and I'm going to leave them in because I want to share that experience with them. I do have some hornworm damage on my tomatoes and on my ground cherries. I was going to come out last night and look for them with my black light, but I forgot. Oh, I see a tomato that is ripening. That's exciting. All right, good deal. Okay, I may go ahead and pick that just so that I don't lose it to bugs. The popcorn's great. Celery is struggling because of the heat. Cucumbers are gone. Okay. Still have a grassy mess over here. I was weed eating yesterday and I ran out of string. So I've got to put more string on my weed eater, and then I'll get back to that. This tiny little sunflower. I had no idea it was only going to be about 2 feet tall. But it's blooming, and that's awesome. Sweet little butterfly there. resting. The corn has silks. I love that. It's nice and tall. Hopefully before too long, we'll get to pick some corn. This crazy sunflower that cannot stand up on its own. That one has bloomed, and the, the birds and the bees have been enjoying that. And this one is that same sunflower. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. And then this one up here is about probably 8 feet tall, and I can't even see what color it is. It's got a bud at the top, so I have to wait and see. Zinnias are coming on strong. This is where I mowed the black beans down with all the grass, because just that was one way of easing my anxiety and stress, is to take it out. Peppers are finally starting to put on some blooms. There's a little bloom in there. I don't know if it's because of the intense heat, which peppers like heat, or what. I have no idea. The tomatoes on the trellis, there are a few tomatoes coming on, but like I've told you before, they're so shaded out, I don't think they're going to do much. The drying beans are doing well. Ooh, do you see the sky over there? Oh, let's hope that's rain coming this way. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that is a long ways off, but I hope it gets here soon. Okay, bring you around here. Green beans, a sea of green beans that need to be picked. I'm going to have to get that done today or tomorrow, because I don't want them going bad either. And then we have okra, which I don't think I've shown before. It has not really done anything except feed the Japanese beetles. That's okay. Yellow squash. This is one plant. Can you believe that? One plant. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And I see lots of squash babies in there. I see one on the other side that needs to be picked. And the pumpkins. I want to show you the pumpkins. I am losing my shade, guys. The pumpkins are struggling. Could be because of the heat. Could be because of pest damage. I really don't know for sure. I did have some pumpkins in there. They're probably just covered up with grass. I don't know. And they go all the way back out here in front of the asparagus beds. This one vine, I kid you not, came from way over there. Isn't that crazy how far they can go? Okay, I am going to get back to planting this bed. Hopefully I'll get both of them planted before that rain gets here and before I completely lose my shade. One thing about the square foot gardening, it takes a while. I've got to measure out my boxes, and planting, 3 or 4 different things at one time takes some mind power and some thought, and I'm going to get back to it. So I will throw in some clips here of me planting and maybe a few other things, I don't know. But thank you for hanging out with me in the garden this morning. I know this is a quick video, and I will see you next time I'm in the garden. Bye, friends. Happy gardening.